welcome to a little bit of woo-woo. We are doing our quarterly welcome to the fun world of retrograde. I know it feels like it's every month, but apparently, according to Mara, who does math better than me, it's not every month, and it's happening again. And Mara's going to tell us what we need to know about the retrograde. But first, can we start off with the dates? Like what? I always have to look it up. What do we need to? When's the dates here?
Well, we're actually already in Mercury Retrograde. So this is being recorded on the last day of July. And the retrograde, or the shadow that happens before Mercury enters retrograde, began on the 16th of July. So everything that's been going on between July 16 and now, all the way to August 4, is considered the retrograde and will be material that gets covered during the retrograde, which begins on August 4th. And then we end the retrograde period on August 28th. Let me double check that. Yep, August 28th. And then that side of the shadow ends on September 11th.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that date. Oh, yeah. My goodness. Wow. So we're talking, so all of this kind of nasty election season is going to be percolating during the retrograde. The really, I mean, the DNC, the RNC was during the shade portion. I'm just like realizing the dates. The Olympics are on right now.
Right.
All of that was happening during. Oh my goodness, that sounds like fun. Wow, cool. Okay, well, a lot makes a little bit more sense now. So I know each retrograde, there's different stars involved, and without getting too technical for those of us like me who don't speak that language, what do we need to know about this particular retrograde? I know I think you had said off air that this one wasn't going to be as bad in some ways, or did I get that wrong? Tell me what you're thinking.
Well, that's the thing, is everybody hears Mercury retrograde and the word bad, B-A-D, comes right up. And it's not bad. Mercury retrograde gives us the time to slow down and go over things that could use some attention. Maybe something needs to get redone or revisited, or maybe it's time to reevaluate the direction you're going in and make a course correction or plan for the course correction. So this particular Mercury retrograde happens to be in two different elementals. It starts as Mercury retrograde in Virgo, which is an earth sign, and that means things of the practical nature of the earth, like papers that you sign and your home. What's going on in your home, what's in your closet, how's your health going? That's part of an earth sign, is what's happening in your health. And then it continues backward through Virgo into Leo, which is a fire sign. So the switch happens to emotional, like being very triggerable. Like you can really be very, yeah.
And that switch happens in the middle. What kind of the date on that switch? Not that people are going to pay attention to it, but.
Well, but it's important to know this, okay? So when Mercury retrograde begins on the 4th, it's in Virgo. So everybody's been feeling that urge already. I need to clean up things.
Yeah,
I need
me too.
De-junk. I'm going to donate stuff. I'm going to take things down to the Goodwill. I just too much stuff around me. I need to get rid of it. But then when it crosses over into what day is it? The 14th. Okay, well, we got to talk about the 14th. So Mercury retrogrades back into Leo on the 14th. So the first 10 days, the 10th to the 14th, it's in Virgo. And that's more, cleaning up some stuff. But when it goes back into Leo, there's a lot of explosive things happening. So here's what we need to know. On the 14th, Mercury goes back into Leo, and at the same time, Mars conjuncts Jupiter. Mars is the god of war, and Jupiter is, let's make it bigger, bigger, bigger. And they're in Gemini, which is like all over the place. So I'm trying to not use technical terms.
I know, right? So many technical terms.
Yes,
especially that one. That one.
That's the scariest one, right? That's chickens running around with their heads cut off, and we may experience it that week. So it's super important to know that, say, about 3 days before and 3 days after August 14, and especially on August 14, not just in your personal life, because Mars is a personal planet, but in our world around us, because Jupiter is what's considered a social planet. We could be having some major news, some big experiences happening because of this. There's the all the energy shifting and changing on that day, and Mars meeting Jupiter on that day in this Gemini. So that is a really impactful day, and things are happening on either side of that day that basically add to senses of frustration, of being in this grumpy space of aggression, and it could be a difficult week. So the idea is to not get involved in that, to stand back from it so you don't get swept away and kind of almost a mob, or not mob mentality, more of a mass. I don't want to be like alarmist, but like a mass hysteria, where everybody's freaking out about something, and maybe they don't need to freak out about it, but it affects people deeply. So
On August, or they're about August 14th.
right,
Interesting.
yeah, it could be, or it could just be in your own personal life. But I don't know. I just keep getting a hit. This is something to really pay attention to.
Well, interesting, because I mean that big, mass internet outage that took out lots of big corporate. I mean, we're talking about hospitals and airplanes and all of that. People
Yes.
didn't really lose their shiz over that. What are we talking about? Like, I mean, we were talking about escalation in the war in the Middle East, which is getting to it was always a scary level, but it's getting really like two major countries might actually start openly being at war here, in addition to the aggression happening on the other front in Israel. These are the kinds of things we're talking about, right? Or are we talking about communication things like internet everywhere instead of just half the world?
Well, because we're Mercury retrograde, and it's the day that it switches signs. Absolutely, communications could be involved in this, but maybe it's not. Actually, I just don't want to predict anything dark. I just hate doing
I know.
that.
I hear you.
But it could be. Let's say it could be technology involved. That would not be a surprise. It could be travel involved. It could be like a surprise that you couldn't expect, that it would be quite like, really, could this happen? We had to talk in another video that we did about our political situation here in the United States. And honestly, everything that happens here, maybe I'm just being very having a nationalist view here, but it does seem to affect the world when we have big things happen here. We could have something really big happen in our political scene. There could be an extreme thing that happens in the banking scene. So I feel more that this is about people, though, than the technology and the players, the major players in our current political situation. There could be a big change.
Well, I mean, like it or not, the U.S. holds the reserve currency. Oil and gold are both purchased in dollars, U.S. dollars. So when something happens with our economy, it affects everyone. When something happens politically, it does affect the world, because we are the reserve currency. There's no way of that not being true unless that changes. I don't see it being Deutschmarks anytime soon. So interesting that you're talking about this. Intuitively, I do see a lot of upheaval. I can't say that I see it on a specific date, though. I don't get that kind of, unless people are like celebrating Christmas on the day that something happens and the guides are showing me a Christmas tree. I don't usually get like as specific of dates on that, which is why it's nice to have you on, because you can talk about things in terms of the stars with actual dates. So that's helpful. Interesting that you bring this up. So what should we be looking for? Like, what activities are discouraged during this time? And let's talk about what's discouraged, and then we'll talk about what kinds of things are encouraged during this little period of time.
Well, right now, especially if we all just kind of tune into what is our unique needs for our own soul. What makes me feel good? Do I need to start planning next time I take some time off, do I need to start planning where I might want to go? Do I have a course that I need to finish up so I can get that certificate? Now's a good time to do that. Have there been people in my life I've been meaning to get in touch with and I haven't done it? This is a very good time to do that. Tying up loose ends and bringing yourself to a place where you love yourself more each and every day. This is important because we let this outside stuff influence us so strong. And as we go into this retrograde and we're moving through it and weird, crazy things are happening and really they don't have to be world changing so much as just shocking and surprising, because there's so much Uranian influence in this retrograde. And Uranus is the planet of disruption and surprise and major changes. I think if we can keep getting our own stuff in order and can, when people are like, let's dial it down just to like a work situation. You're at work, there's a couple people that are always rubbing you the wrong way. They don't pull their fair weight in the amount of work that they get done, and the supervisor seems to favor them anyway, and it just gets all your. It's a great time to do all the inner work you can, to let it roll off your back, to just not take it personally, to not get involved in the drama. Don't get drawn into it. In fact, if you can arrange for some personal days off, I would take them so you don't have to be in the middle of it. That's one of the ways I would prepare for this retrograde is how can you lighten your load? How can you get super attentive to when people are trying to draw you into their drama, and how can you not fall into your own drama? That makes sense?
I do, I know we're talking about some of these things as being a little alarming, but at the same time, it is helpful to be aware that this is a time there's going to be some more volatility, more movement. We could see it could be the earthquake that I've been seeing could be coming.
It could be.
I don't see anything. I hate to think that somebody's watching this who's got a plane flight scheduled for 8:14 and thinking, oh my God, I can't. But no, go. You use your own intuition. It's going to be fine. Almost everything is going to be just fine. And then there's going to be something that's not, and it might be kind of shocking. So
yeah, it's sad.
Just know that.
Look at it. You know what? Like when you were mentioning there could be an earthquake, there could be an earthquake, there could be a hurricane. There could be a very strong hurricane in the Caribbean. That would definitely get all of our attention.
Mm-hmm.
We need to divert resources in that direction to help people. And it could come right on to could come up the coastline of Texas. This could be part of what's in the mix, because there's so many. I'm not going to talk about all of them because there's too many, but through this retrograde period and the retrograde now, and on the other side of the retrograde, Jill, there are so many conflicting energies bumping into each other that just gives so many opportunities for authorities to have conflicts with each other and just changes that you wouldn't expect. And again, nobody can write this stuff. Nobody can make this up. That kind of outlandish and wild things, because Mercury, when it retrogrades through all of this, it's going to square Uranus 3 times, because it goes back and forth over the same place in space. Uranus is aligned with Algol. Remember that star we talked about way back on the 13th of July? Algol is a fixed star that represents the head of Medusa, and it's that malefic. It's not beneficial, right? It brings bad energy in. So when we have Algol and Uranus hanging out there together, that's like expect the unexpected, and it could be off the scale, wild and crazy.
Love it. Well, I don't love it, but it is interesting. It's good to know. So, bottom line, and tell me correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's not the right time to buy a house unless you've already started the process before the retrograde started. Great time to get that certificate that you needed to get, that your boss has been pestering you about to take that test. Go do it now. Great time to clean the house. Not a good time to pick a fight with your neighbors. Maybe don't do that. Or somebody on on the freeway, they may have a gun and you don't know about that.
Oh God,
On
road.
I mean, just you don't need to get mad at somebody for cutting you off. Just let them have their day and just, spray a little sunshine on yourself. Anything I've left out? Probably like a million things I've left out, but are those good ones to start with?
I love to recommend for folks to collect a list of things that they know feeds their soul. Is there a song you like to listen to? Is there a movie you like to watch? Is there a person you like to talk to? Is there an activity that makes you feel good to go watch an old movie with a friend at an old theater, or go to the beach and stick your feet in the sand and then let the foam, you know what I'm saying? Like, make a list of these things that you can go to when you feel your energy, your mood, your outlook going down.
Love it.
Because, yeah, this is
No, that's good advice. That's always good advice, but especially during retrograde when things are so chaotic.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts? Other than everybody, please like and subscribe this video. It really helps me out. Anything else?
Yes. Please like, subscribe, reach out to me or Jill for private
readings. Yeah, we do private readings.
Things. We're there for you. Yeah. I'm just going to go back to the part where Mercury is going to be in Leo for part of this retrograde. So what that means, another way of looking at that, is you get to get really down into your heart. Who do you think you are? How do you want to walk this world? And notice what puts you off your center and what triggers you, what makes your heart feel really tender. Those are the things to notice over these next, 6 weeks or so. Notice those things and know that they're there to teach you something so that you can be stronger and fuller and more able to live who you are and love life.
Love it, love it, love it. So on that, everybody have a great week. We love you guys. It's going to be good. It's going to be fine. Maybe a little extra vodka in the cabinet. That might be good. Okay. See you guys later. Or whatever your particular thing is. Bye.
Yeah, no, okay.
Okay, whatever.